Okay guys, it is us again. I'm Melissa. This is my brat daughter, Kara, and we are going to create a reaction video with 7 things you probably don't want to know about lice. Now, here's a challenge for you. You cannot itch your head the entire video. Stop, you can't itch! You're already itching! You're out of the video. Can you? There you go. Alright, stop. Do not itch. Oh god, look how itch on my arm already. Alright, the original.
You put your head back when you do this. Thank you.
The original video link will be down below. So that you guys can watch it if you don't want to watch the reaction video.
That's sexist, you guys.
Sexist?
Yeah.
Look, I'm already like, I haven't even played it. Okay, cannot itch. Try not to itch.
No.
Here we go.
I didn't itch. I moved my
Here we
bum.
go. Be quiet for a minute.
Can strike fear into the hearts of parents and school administrators
Move your
around
head.
the world, and hundreds of millions of people deal with lice infestations every year. But as annoying as they are, humans and lice have shared a long, itchy history. They've evolved along with us and
It's
they've
my
come
ear.
along the ride as we migrated around the world. They've even affected the outcomes of our wars. So here are 7 facts about these pests that you might or might not want to know depending on how itchy you are right now.
Don't itch.
Just like,
don't do it.
Talking about it. Just talking about it. There are more than 5,000 species of lice. They are tiny and wingless, and they are experts at feeding on birds and mammals. And they have to be experts. They are obligate parasites, meaning that their life cycle depends on finding a host to feed on. In general, lice can be divided into 2 groups: sucking lice, which have special suction mouth parts, and chewing lice, which have jaw-like mouth parts. Both types sound pretty gross. Depending on the feeding mechanism they use, different
this is
kinds
very
of lice
impossible.
can infest lots of different warm-blooded animals, with some lucky exceptions like bats. Adult lice only live for about 30 days. In that time, they mate, and then the females lay eggs called nits right at the base of the hair shaft. These nits hatch in about a week and become small, immature nymphs, which stay attached to the hair shaft and start feeding on blood from the skin. In about 2 weeks, the nymphs mature into Nymphs can't live without blood for more than a few hours, and adults die within a couple of days. So for lice, finding and sticking to a host is key. Luckily, out of all of those thousands of species, there are only 3 types of lice that are known specifically to infest humans: head, body, and pubic lice.
Oh my
Probably
god.
most well known. They're a common pest, but head lice aren't typically very dangerous. They're
Ew,
just
look at
very
its like
itchy.
feet.
Humans can also be infested with Thyrus pubis, the pubic louse, aka crabs. The pubic louse is smaller and
Don't watch.
with large claws adapted to attaching
Only way to get rid
to
of
coarser
them is
pubic
to
hairs.
shave.
It can also infest other parts of the body with coarse hair, like eyelashes and eyebrows. Like head lice, they just cause lots of itching. Then there's body lice. They're so closely related to head lice that they're
Ew, why is
considered
butt
different
red?
types of the same species, but the body lice can be dangerous. They've been associated with diseases like typhus, trench fever, and louse-borne
Get your head in the shot.
fever. The body lice can carry the bacteria that cause these diseases, and the poop from an infected louse is contaminated. If a human host scratches a bite
your head
or
back.
even just has a small cut or scrape, the bacteria in the feces can get into their bloodstream. Typhus and louse-borne relapsing fever are often fatal. Trench fever isn't.
You didn't catch any of that? I'm talking about poop getting in your cut.
Fevers for days at a time.
Poop is
Body
like-
lice were
The lice
common
poop.
in trench warfare.
Our
where
poop,
soldiers
really?
were crammed together in unsanitary
Stop!
conditions, and those lice would spread disease. Part of the reason Napoleon failed
That's what this guy's
in the
doing.
invasion of Russia in the early 1800s
Stop.
was that tens of thousands of his soldiers died from typhus spread by lice. And trench fever was
Definitely
a huge
itching his
problem
belly.
during both world wars. So body lice are the ones you probably want to avoid. The best way to prevent
I'm
body
just-
lice is to
just
avoid
massaging.
contact with other people who have it, and to wash your clothes and body on a regular basis. But it turns out that another way to avoid getting body lice might be
Why wash
getting
yourself?
head lice. A group group of researchers from Hungary proposed this idea in 2012 based on the fact that humans often touch
voice is
heads
kind of speaking
to
kind of
express
loud, yes.
affection, like when you lean your head against your friend's head while you're taking a photo. Humans do this all
Let's
the time.
touch heads.
Non-human primates don't. And there's another thing that's unique to humans, two separate kinds
I'm
of
uncomfortable.
lice
You're making
for
me
our heads and
slouch.
bodies. The team realized that there might be a connection between head touching and lice. There's some evidence that exposure to body lice
What are you doing with
provides
your
some
hair?
protection against them.
What are
When
you
a separate
doing?
group of researchers injected rabbits with an extract from body lice species, the lice had a much harder time infesting them. They ate much smaller blood meals, laid fewer eggs. Fewer of the eggs that they did lay managed to hatch. Now remember, head lice.
What are you doing? Itching your head through putting a ponytail in?
So it's possible that having a mostly harmless head lice infestation could provoke an immune response in humans, protecting them from a much more dangerous body lice infestation later on. If that's true, the Hungarian researchers argued that
bored.
affectionate head touching
Me too.
might have evolved as a way
back to
to
the pictures.
intentionally transmit
Go back to the
head lice
pictures.
to your
We learned by
friends and
pictures.
loved ones, helping protect them from body lice and the diseases they carry. Body lice are the bad kind. They can be super useful for
What the?
researchers
Oh my
studying
gosh, it's
human
gone.
history. It's easy for head lice to attach to thicker heads.
What is happening? What is it? Don't look. I don't know what's happening.
That's naughty
Genetic
imaging.
analysis of head lice and body lice
stunned.
showed that they diverged on the evolutionary tree around 170,000 years ago, which means that probably when humans started experimenting with clothing. Now, that makes sense, since a kind of mini ice age began around 130 to 180,000 years ago, so clothing may have become more.
Are you itching?
accessible.
Are you itching from the body
Body
lice?
hair around 1 million years ago.
Gotta-
So we spent a lot of
I know.
time surviving in the wild without body hair or clothing. The pubic lice can also tell us something about human evolution, specifically
Oh, God.
our
Oh, God.
ancestors' sex habits.
Calm down with
Pubic
the
lice
pictures.
are mainly transmitted through sex. Head and body lice are super closely related to each other, but pubic lice
Sex?
is much more distantly.
So, like-
it's not even the same genus. In fact, it shares a closer ancestry with a different species, Thyrus gorillae, which infests gorillas.
Thank you.
These two species diverged
Gorilla.
around 3.3 million years ago when our Australopithecus afarensis ancestors were around.
Australopithecus
which means that
afarensis.
At some point, Australopithecus and gorillas were in close enough
Afrolopithecus.
for gorilla pubic lice to infest our ancestors, possibly sexual contact. But we know that pubic lice can also
Stop
be
itching!
sharing
I'm just
bedding
rubbing.
towels. So it's
Same
possible that
thing.
Australopithecus and gorillas were both sharing
Australopithecus.
habitats, and that our
Australopithecus.
ancestors
Say it.
used nests where gorillas had slept, which would be, I mean, I understand things happen, nature, but that would be less disturbing. The genetics of lice can tell us about the
We missed
history
it.
of human migration and civilization too, because
We're all saying
when our
help?
ancestors left Africa and spread around the world, they brought lice.
Stop!
I can't.
Found on
I'm about to itch my
artifacts like
head.
pieces of
There's it right there.
combs. They've also been found
Crawling.
in the bodies of mummies from as far back as 10,000 years ago. And studying the genetics of lice from these mummies as well as modern
I give up.
can help track how they migrated out of Africa to Egypt.
I'm good.
In a 2013
Turn this off.
study, for
This is
example,
dumb.
researchers looked at
I want to do one of those funny videos.
Okay. Did you guys scratch? Could you make the challenge? We failed miserably. I have body lice now, and I have head lice.
I have crabs.
That's awesome. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Yes, 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 yes.
Stop!